My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. First up at UFC Vegas 25, we have Luke Sanders versus Felipe Colares in what should be an interesting fight, a little bit of a clash of styles. What are your thoughts, Dan? Do you think the black belt gets the submission? Do you think the striker gets submitted again? What are your thoughts here? And what do you think of the pretty far apart significant strike line?
This is definitely an interesting matchup. Definitely a clash of styles. I think the odds are about right. I think the DraftKings money is a little off. I think Sanders is probably a little expensive. I was looking at him, but I think Colares is extremely tough. So significant strike line. I'm thinking I'm going to go more and more here. I think Colares is too tough to where he's going to be tough to put away. He's only got to get 20 points. And I think Sanders is going to throw a ton of punches. So I think he should get the 41 in what I think will probably be a win. But breaking down tape on both these guys. So Colares, as you mentioned, he's a black belt. He's 1-2 in the UFC. One of those wins was a split decision. He's never been finished, and watching tape, it makes sense.
Yeah.
He lost his last fight decision to Montel Jackson. It was in January of 2020, so he hasn't fought in a little while. But man, Jackson, first of all, Jackson looked really good, but Colares took some shots. Like, I could not believe that he was not put away multiple times throughout that fight, and he hung tough throughout that entire fight. So, but kind of looking at his style, it was a tough matchup for him. He had a tough time dealing with the wrestling, but I thought his takedown defense looked pretty solid. He definitely made Montel work for it. He got to his feet pretty well, but when they got up to the standing, he got beat up striking. He just got lit up. But again, Montel Jackson was throwing crisp combinations, all power shots. Colares took it. He had a couple times where he almost got a guillotine. He kept going for it. The end of the fight, I think he almost got it, but it was kind of too little too late. I think, he got dominated in a tough matchup. But if you look at 2 fights ago against Domingo Pilarte, he was a 3-1 underdog. And he looked better, but his striking definitely has defensive holes from what I saw. He loves throwing that lead body kick, and it's heavy, but his hands are always down. He kind of controlled the fight, pushing for takedowns and controlling the clinch. He's got a couple good body lock takedowns. I thought that was probably one of his best offensive wrestling maneuvers. He also landed a pretty cool arm throw. So he's got some wrestling in him, and his pressure is pretty good. He's got, in that fight at least, where he wasn't getting destroyed like Montel Jackson, he had pretty relentless pressure. So I think that stylistically could be tough for Luke Sanders, who's 3-4 in the UFC, but looks way better than his record shows from what I saw on tape. He trains at Henry Cejudo's gym. So he's obviously got a good squad. He lost his last fight to Nate Maness. I thought he was going to win that fight. He was the favorite of the fight. He did have a long layoff before that. So that could be part of the reason. But, from what I saw on the tape, he looked like he's a very solid wrestler. He's got that good wrestler striker style where he keeps you guessing with takedowns. And if you bite on it, he comes with a power shot, almost like, a new age Josh Koscheck type style. So, and that's one of the toughest styles to deal with. So he did have Maness hurt really bad in the first round of that fight. And then the second, they were slugging it out. And Sanders almost was like, I don't care if I get hit. My shots are going to be more powerful. And Maness landed a crisp counter shot that put him down. I thought he was winning the fight pretty clearly before that. I think he just made an error in the fight, and that cost him. So I think he's going to be, I give him the edge in this fight. Another thing to call out, he beat Renan Barão before that. So he's fought top level guys and won. So I think he's going to be the better fighter in this fight. It's just an interesting matchup. Colares is so tough. He's never been finished. But I think Sanders is going to kind of be the more athletic, powerful, and better striker. And I think his wrestling defense will be enough to keep it there for most of the fight. I hope he doesn't gas out later in the fight, because Colares could keep coming and catch him in something. But I'm picking Sanders. I could see him landing, a big counter shot off of one of those kind of naked body kicks that Colares throws. I'm just a little worried about DraftKings points with Colares kind of being such a pressure fighter and going to the clinch. So I'm not touching this for DraftKings. My pick is Sanders, and what I think could be a close bit of a scrap. So, and then I said it earlier, looking at this line, I think I'm going over and over on both of those, because I think the fight probably will go to the distance, with Sanders landing a bunch of shots and Colares trying to get takedowns and press the clinch.
Yeah, I agree with most of that. I think more is probably the right pick. 41 significant strikes is a good amount in a 3-round fight. It's not a ton, but it is a solid amount. So I agree with more on the strike line, because while Felipe Colares will definitely throw fewer strikes, I think he'll throw more than 19.5, because he is impossible to finish. What is tricky here, though, is almost every single one of Luke Sanders' losses is a submission. And that's, Felipe Colares' whole deal. Plus, Luke Sanders is taking this on short notice. And I'm pretty sure it's at a catch weight, because it is such short notice. So the fact that it's a catch weight means he's either way out of shape, or he cuts a ton of weight and just doesn't have time to do his full cut. So the catch weight was interesting to me. So I actually think Felipe Colares is probably a decent pick. I don't know if I would draft him, because I think he's submission or bust in this fight. I don't think he'll outwork. I don't think he'll out anything Luke Sanders, unless he'll submit him on the ground. And Luke may shoot a takedown just to, thinking that he'll be able to get a break on the ground and might get caught in something if he's not in great shape. So it's definitely interesting. If you want to play the Monkey Knife Fight significant strike line, check out the link in the image below. It's playmkf.com/WeWantPicks, and use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit up to $100. And if you play more and hit it, you will triple your money. So Jacob, what are your thoughts on this fight? And do you think Felipe Colares has as much of a chance as I think he does?
Cool Hand Luke, baby. I love that nickname, Cool Hand Luke. And you guys have me a little bit scared, because I have Luke in my lineup. I saw this the same way you see it, Angelo. I see submission or bust with Felipe. And the reason I like Luke Sanders in this matchup is because obviously he's got the striking advantage. I think he comes forward with the pressure, and his takedowns I feel are, it's not usually a single leg or a double leg. It's usually a body lock with a trip, which keeps him out of range of the guillotine, which I think is what Felipe is very good at, is jumping on that guillotine, jump on your neck. So it's a lot of body locks with the trips, and he doesn't use grappling he doesn't need to control the fight with his grappling. I feel like he uses his grappling and his takedowns to win rounds, because I've seen some positions before where he's in half guard, pretty good position to be in, and he'll kind of step out of that position, out of that half guard to go back to striking. So it's like he gets a takedown. He's like, all right, I got the takedown. Let me get out of this situation, and then use my striking to my advantage. So I like his pressure in this fight. I like him to be able to get those body lock, trip, takedowns, realize, this is where I need to be, but I got the takedown. Let me back out of the situation. And from what I saw from Felipe in a couple of his fights was, late in fights was cardio issues. I saw him getting taken down very easily, kind of really relying on, they just keep taking me down. So I'm going to really try and jump on that guillotine. So I like Luke Sanders in this fight. You guys had me a little bit more worried than I was to start, but I still like him in this fight, and he's in my DraftKings lineup. And I think I agree with you with the more on the Monkey Knife Fight.
The DraftKings lineup is tricky. I don't have $8,700 for the confidence in him. I am surprised you said Felipe Colares has cardio issues. I mean, he has fantastic cardio. If he had crap cardio, Montel Jackson would have finished him.
I saw a third round where it's just takedown. You just see him. He's on his back and getting outworked. So
yeah, he got in some trouble in the third round. I think in that Pilarte fight, he was dominating the first and second, and then I think he got in some trouble in third. That's a good call though, Angelo, about Sanders taking this short notice, because that can make a difference with the style of fight that Colares is going to put on him. But yeah, I don't know. I like your pick, Jacob. I don't know, for $8,700. Hopefully he gets it done early and scores some points.
Especially catchweight, though. Like you're a professional fighter. Catchweight is like, I'm not ready. Can they do it at this weight instead? That's not a great situation to be in.
I mean, it's a better
that's
situation.
Not always.
It's a better situation than if he would have actually tried and then there was a bad weight cut and then now they have to move the catchweight. At least he knows ahead of time. All right, I only have to go down to this number. You know?
Yeah, and it could be because he cuts a ton of weight. It could be because he cuts a ton.
Right. I was just gonna say there's a difference between catch weight because you're not in shape, and there's a difference between catch weight because you're in shape, eating carbs, eating what you want. Because when you walk around 30 pounds heavier than the weight class, you could be in the best shape in the world. It doesn't matter. You're not making that weight on a week's notice.
Yeah, and it could be. It's just a question mark. So this will be an interesting fight. I don't know if it's going to be the most exciting fight in the world, but it will be an interesting one. I am curious to see what happens. We just want to give a giant thank you to all of our members and to everybody who donated this week, specifically Jesse Correa, Dunchichi, Chris Jory, David Raymond, Chris Toronto, Ansi Music, and Jill Gretka. Thank you all very, very much. If anybody is interested in becoming a member, there is a join button down below. You'll get a fancy little crown in the comment section. If you're interested in sharing the wealth from all of our fantastic picks, there's a donation link in the description below. Thank you all very, very much for the support. It is much appreciated, and everything goes right back in this channel to give you the best possible production and best picks on the planet.
Definitely appreciate all you guys watching. Love interacting with you guys in the comments. So keep writing comments. We'll keep going back and forth. Jacob and I will keep arguing, or Jacob and Angelo will keep arguing. But really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching.
Get your crowns.
Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.